I think maybe. It's gonna take just a minute.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Coming back. Oh wait, it's smooth like
Oh, there we go.
butter.
Okay.
Smooth
So,
like butter.
if anybody ever wants to stream from America,
Burger.
don't pick Asia as your streaming server
Yeah.
because that's far away. That's over there on that side of the world, and we're over here on this side of the world.
Proud of you for your job.
So if you live an hour and a half away from Atlanta, choose Atlanta as your server, and it will work much better. Woo!
Hot Atlanta. You know what I want?
What's
You know
that?
what I want? Because, I thought it was just a black screen thing, but I was proven wrong by Opie and by Gideon. I want me a really awesome hammer that looks like that I can hang on my wall.
Mm.
And I want somebody to break into my house so I can
Telling
do
you.
these straight up hammer moves, crush some skulls.
Wait till Dragon Con. Don't they have that vendor with all the knives?
Yeah.
Down there.
He's gonna craft that hammer.
Grabs that hammer.
I just hope it's Valyrian steel hammer. I
That's
don't know
true.
how he's gonna handle all the undead with regular.
Well, apparently it's good enough to smash White Walkers, as we saw.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll get to all that. So, guys, let's start over. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm Matt, that's Dan, and that's Opie on the other side of him, and we are here talking about tonight's episode of Game of Thrones. It's season 7, episode 5. We've got 2 left.
They're buds.
And this was really good. There was a lot in this episode. I have 3/4 of a page of notes.
Whoa.
Talking points. That's just because you didn't understand it. Usually, when you take a lot of notes, you're like, I need to ask guys about this.
I understood.
Or, I don't know. I don't want to ask them during the episode.
Thanks, Rachel.
But I understood all of it.
He did. I saw
But,
the whole time he was understanding.
That was one of my notes that says, I get this.
See, it's on Matt's opinions. Like, oh,
Right.
that's not on there. He understands.
So, yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. The episode, so we'll follow. So, every week we try to follow each story thread. And there was so many different, it was all mixed up, but we'll try. So the episode,
We can go step by step, man. That's fine.
yeah. Well,
Let's go.
so the episode starts right at the end of the last episode.
Wait, Matt, what's the name of the episode?
Eastwatch.
What?
It's Eastwatch to the Westwatch.
Eastwatch ain't got no
Eastwatch. What?
Eastwatch to the Westwatch. It's
That's right.
yeah.
Man. We're on Biggie and P Diddy's side. We're Eastwatch all day. Take that, Westwatch.
At least you don't have to pause every 5 minutes to tell your mom the entire history of Westeros. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. So the episode starts right at the end of the battle. Right at the end. So we saw Bronn throw Jaime into the river, and it starts with him pulling Jaime out. So for everybody who thought Jaime was going to drown,
Yeah, you people.
to be correct, we didn't know that was Braun at the end of last week's episode.
Coming correct. Open.
I mean,
No.
Spoiler alert.
No.
Spoiler alert. Braun
It
did
was
it.
Braun.
It was Braun.
Yeah,
Okay.
go
With
ahead.
the knife.
Go ahead.
So anyway, it was Bronn. Bronn pulls Jaime out of the river, and
He tells Jamie, "Don't you go dying on me."
yeah, don't you go dying on me. Well,
You're
actually, he
not allowed
kind
to die.
of you're not allowed to die. I'm the only one who's allowed to
Marines
kill
are
you,
not allowed to die without permission.
right? Because of what you owe me. So basically, the whole point of this scene is that Jaime realizes just how powerful Dany's army is with the dragons. He was just amazed at how powerful the dragon was, and he's like, and she has 2 more. I've got to tell Cersei. So he heads off to do that, and we will come back to that later. But also after the battle, so apparently we find out that some of the Lannister army didn't get killed, and
Especially our
Dany,
favorite character, Dickon.
yeah,
He was totally fine.
Dickon still had his dick on.
Strong and steady. Dickon was strong, steady, and stood firm.
So Dany basically says, "I'm not here to kill anybody. I'm not Cersei. Bend the knee, and you'll be fine. I'm not going to kill you." And some do, some don't. Of the 2 that don't is the Tarleys, Daddy Tarley and Dickon.
Used to be made of the Tyrells. Now
Yep.
remember, no, only a few people bent the knee, and then Drogon yelled at all of them. Just drag away. Like, did you not hear what she said?
Perhaps
And
you
then, like, the
didn't
rest
hear
of them-
her. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of them got down there. They were cool. And then, Daddy and Dickon, they're not bending the knee. They're standing strong and firm. Dickon,
Good job, Lou. Dickon stood firm in front of Danny. I do too every time she's on. So Dickon and what's the dad's name? The Tarly dad? Papa Tarly?
Papa Charlie. That's him. Yep. He has his own pizza franchise. Papa Charlie.
Anyway, they did not, and even though I thought Tyrion brought up a good point that said your queen, you had a different queen just a little while ago until she died, and now you're with Cersei. Your loyalty has some flexibility, which I thought was pretty cool.
He's not been to the need of some savage group of foreigners.
Right, yeah, foreigners and a dwarf.
Sides in the Westeros way, but he won't do it for the foreigners.
Yeah, and especially since Tyrion killed his own father, he doesn't find that very respectful. So, long story short, the Tarleys did not bend the knee, so Drogon burned them alive. So and instantly right there, I was like, okay, this season has a consistent theme of starting to slowly tie up loose ends, slowly starting to get rid of characters that starting to sort of narrow down who's doing what and where. So the Tarleys are gone except for Sam. The Tyrells are gone. There's a lot of people gone.
Well, let's talk about the conversation that Danny and Tyrion have. Okay, before that they burn.
Yeah, that's a good point. He tries to convince her just to send them to the wall.
And what do you guys? How do you guys feel about that? I mean, do you think that she did the right thing, or do you think that Tyrion's on the right on that?
They just don't want her to become the Mad King.
Right.
They want her to burn everybody. So she needs to put herself in check a little bit.
Well, while we were watching, Dan said somebody's going to have to reel her in, which is true. And we talked about it last week. She's just she's not used to losing anything. She's won so much that I kind of feel like her head's she's starting to get a little bit of an ego.
Now, when the Tarleys talked about her being a foreigner and how Tyrion killed her father and then was banished and now he's came back with her, didn't someone else talk about that when they was, I think it might have been Cersei was telling, everyone that, she's going to come back and they're not going to follow her because she's a foreigner and all that. Am I correct in saying that? You guys remember that?
I think so. But I don't remember who said it or who she was saying it to.
But anyway, but still, but I think you have to send a message when you're. I had no problem with her burning them.
A little bit. And John, again, she had no choice though. She does have a choice. She's the one with the dragon. She can make a decision to burn them alive in front of a bunch of people so that they're either scared to follow her, or she can show mercy and have people follow because they are honored to her and they're bound to her by love or by admiration or some other way. There's two ways to lead. You can kill all your people and scare them to death, and then that's fine. Or you could do it the way of just, they just are inspired by you. Like the Dothraki and the Unsullied follow because they were freed and they chose to follow her.
Right.
She's trying to give the other people a choice, and then she's burning them too.
Well,
first of all, they don't know her. Secondly, they are a foreign invader to their lands, and she's got dragons that are just toasting all of them that burns them to ash in a second. That's pretty violent acts on a battlefield. Lou, I see what you're saying. She's acting the way Ned Stark taught her sons to an extent. It's not. She's giving the option there to say, yes, you either bend the knee or I kill you. She could give the option of you bend the knee or you go to prison or you can go to the wall or I could kill you. Again, you have choices there. You don't have to melt the people in front of the others.
Well, I think old man Tarly was being a bit of a little bitch, though. He was not going to go to the wall, and he was bucking up.
He was telling her that he doesn't. He's like, you're not my queen. You can't send me to the wall.
Well, it's good. He made a good point. How you can't send me to the wall. You're not my queen. How are you gonna make me?
Again,
so J-Dub says
this is more of a diplomatic thing than just her. I get what everybody's saying. She had to burn him.
It made me think of, was it John or Rob several seasons ago that something happened and they beheaded a guy. Remember, it was one of the two
Rob
of them.
did. He beheaded one of the
And
cast,
he didn't really
the
want to,
co-stars.
but he said yeah, that was right. But he said he had to. That was
the family betrayed, and therefore he had to drop the sword on him, even though it knew the co-stars would leave his army.
That's
and
right.
He wouldn't have enough to fight the Lannisters, but he had to do it because that was his choice.
It made me think of that.
This isn't the same thing though. Dany has more choices to choose. She's not. It's not like the Lannisters did something crazy against her, and now they're coming back, and they have to be tried for a sentence of whatever. This is a war, and you want the people to be on your side. So you decide that, okay, do I lead them with fear? Do I give them option or give them choice? No, I'm just going to burn them if they don't listen to me. Now she can make an example of those people or not, whatever she chooses to do. But again, leadership comes down to multiple ways of people to follow you. Do you want people that fear you, or do you want people that respect you and love you? So that's what it comes down to. Whether it's on this battlefield or she did it in front of all the small folk of King's Landing or something like that. That's why they don't want her to go burn down King's Landing, because if she flies over there, everyone's going to hate her. A foreign invader attacking on their soil that they don't know, trying to rule them, and what does she do? She burns them all to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to hear. That's what they're going to see.
She would be viewed exactly like her father at that point.
Exactly.
Who supposedly burned them all for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, it was going to. Yeah, it was going to burn the whole city.
Which I wonder if that's going to tie. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation. But after she burned the Tarleys to death, everybody else who hadn't bent the knee bent the knee.
But see, again, Jones also making a statement there, but wouldn't that make her look weaker? No, because Ned Stark was given the same option in season 1 to go take the Black. He didn't have to lose his head. Joffrey just decided to kill him right there because he was the king. Again, a king can rule with just straight death, or they can give options to people to let them choose. They have to take a punishment. One of these punishments you have to take, But it was the same thing as Ned taking the knee, or taking the Black, or getting put to death. So yeah, she had options.
But yeah, so the rest of the army after that, they bent the knee, and so I guess she has a bigger army now.
Well, there wasn't much of an army.
Well, there was a handful left.
About 15 Tarleys and some, a couple Lannisters.
So Jaime does go back to tell Cersei, and while he's telling her about the dragons, he also tells her that Lady Olenna was the one behind Joffrey's death, and not Tyrion. And to which she didn't really have much of a reaction.
Well, she was pissed.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't believe him at first.
Yeah. I want Cersei to lose really bad.
Yeah.
Really do.
Well, Cersei's starting to go off the deep end, too.
Well, she's sitting there like with a little smirk of it, like, oh, yeah, undead. Whatever. Yeah, Jamie, you listen to everybody? No? Oh, my gosh. Kind of like, she doesn't know anything that's going on around her. All she's trying to do is stay alive. That is all she's doing.
And sharing.
Yeah.
I wish, Caroline.
He wasn't there. He's in the woods singing.
He's singing songs.
He's singing in the woods with his buddies around a campfire.
Started a boy band.
So I was gonna try to tie Cersei back in, but there's something else. We'll get back to her. So after that, we get Dany goes back to friggin' Dragonstone. John's there. I guess they're mining the dragon glass, right? And
Shireen actually gets the Iron Throne.
So actually, so let's talk about this.
Whoa! Check yourself.
And I didn't write this down, but I should have. So as soon as Dany flies Drogon back to Dragonstone, Jon is there, kind of standing on the on the edge of the cliff or whatever.
Doing the King of the World thing from his favorite movie.
Dragonland's right in front of Jon. Jon's a little still taken aback because he's seen dragons now, but he's still not quite used to them.
A little embarrassed.
Drogon is snarling at him, but then kind of calms down, leans in, and Jon is able to pet the
Punch him in
dragon.
the face. Oh, I mean,
Yeah. So and you can see Dany's amazement at this. She's like, well, nobody can, who is he to be petting dragons? Why are they so?
Drogon's been the knee to him. Yeah, he's really good. He is the true heir to the throne,
That's
I
true.
guess. Drogon just kind of bends the knee to him. She's like, son of a.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because Dan, you brought up a good point that there was another person who was able to pet the dragons. I say pet, whatever you call it. Pet the dragons a while back, and that was Tyrion.
That's right.
And there's a big theory that Tyrion is also a Targaryen.
Yeah, the Mad King was in love with Tywin's wife. And yeah, so there's always been a theory about that.
There's that
And then
theory.
there's a statement that he said, as he said, "You're no son
You're
of
no
mine."
son of mine.
Right. Whether that means, oh, he's really not a son of his, or he's just disowning him right before he dies on the toilet.
See, that's what I thought too. I read that and I was like, well, that you could say, okay, you're no son of mine. Oh, that's what he really meant. I still just subscribe to the theory that he was, Tyrion's dad's never liked him and he's never wanted him.
Right.
And,
Yes, I like that. That's code for something, isn't it? Pet the dragon.
So I thought that was,
dragon.
so yeah, that was, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and I'm sure we'll see more.
Yeah, that's a good point to make there. And everybody still thinks that Jon Snow will probably ride a dragon. Or
I think so.
I don't know. We'll see.
So while they're still there, at some point in that scene, Ser Jorah comes back. And we haven't seen him. Now, here's where I was disappointed. So, and Dany was happy to see him. She said, of course, you can come back and serve
His
me or whatever.
psoriasis is cleared up.
Yep. He got some steroids and went to the dermatologist. What I was disappointed in, I was hoping, so Jon, he's never met Ser Jorah, but he knows his father because he served with his father at the wall. What I was a little disappointed in, I was hoping Ser Jorah would say, yes, a maester named Samwell Tarly saved me. And then Jon would say, dude, that's my best friend.
Well, Jorah doesn't know that Sam served at the wall.
Right. No, I know. But I was hoping he would just like offer up the name of the guy who helped him, and Jon would just oh, what a coincidence! He's my best friend. I was the one that sent him there to begin with, and that would just really tighten up that. I mean, they're all pretty good with each other now, but I was really hoping that would tighten that alliance between Dany and Jorah and Jon and all those guys are really like, oh wait, all our group is starting to intermingle now.
I don't think Jorah wants to say anything how he got healed, because I think he's just doing that as protection for Sam. So,
Sam said he served with his dad.
No, that's true. I didn't think about that. You're right, Caroline. I forgot about that. He may say something later on. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Point is, he said, yes, I served with your father. So Jorah's like, cool, but dad's cool too.
But yeah, Jorah's back, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. So after that, we get a good old Bran. And he wards some.
Right, nobody knows. Nobody's there, so you can't tell them dirty stories.
Yeah,
that's so three-eyed raven.
That's so three-eyed.
He works in the ravens and sends them over the wall.
Yeah, sends the ravens over the wall, and we see the army, the big White Walker army.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was cool where they looked up. Was it the Night King looked up at the ravens and they just kind of dispersed? And Bran's like,
right out of them.
Bran's like, shit, we got to tell everybody.
Speaking of shit, everybody at Winterfell is complaining about all the bird crap everywhere since Bran showed up.
Three-eyed raven my butt. There's like 1,000 ravens.
That's true, Rachel, the artist formerly known as Bran.
That's right. That's a good callback, Rachel.
So Bran's like, we got to tell everybody. They send a bunch of notes out all over the place.
Of course, it gets to the freaking old town.
The Maesters.
And the Maesters like, whatever, dead people. Am I right, guys? Jeez. Like, the Maesters are so smart. They're smarty smart pants.
The freaking Maesters, and of course Sam walks in while they're talking about it. He's like, no, this is real. I know Bran. I let him through the wall. He survived when nobody else could. I've seen the White Walkers. You guys need to pay attention. I did
it's the same way we talked about all this season, where it's like, hey, there's a bunch of dead people that are being turned back to life by a guy made of ice coming at the wall. And also this kid, he can see the future and the past because he's a three-eyed raven now. And he also tells you all the bad stories about your life. And somebody's sitting there like, dude, whatever you're smoking,
right.
I want some of that. Because it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, it's like, it's hard for them to believe in that this is actually happening. But they are a bunch of jerks. They don't pay attention to the old stuff they write down. They're all really dumb. They're playing the Maesters like they're all just idiots.
So, I did like that the Grand Maester that Sam's been working with, he said, we'll ride for Winterfell and get to the bottom of this. He said, we will find out the truth one way or the other. But I'm frustrated that nobody believes them. Which, speaking of that, we go back to Dragonstone,
Yeah.
John and Ser Jorah and Danny and Tyrion, all those guys are there. And they
They form
concoct
a
this plan that I think sounds a little bit convoluted, but basically their big idea is to get one of the White Walkers and take them to King's Landing. But what's their goal? To show Cersei that there's a bigger threat?
So everybody
Yeah.
will start fighting each other and take care of the undead that are marching on them from the north.
Is this to show them
That's the
that?
plan.
Is it to say, hey, we,
And it's not, I don't think it's convoluted. They did it in the first season. They brought a hand, but it rotted before it got
Yeah.
down there. They have to bring something to prove to them. Nobody believes their story, so they have to do something.
well, that's what's
So-
frustrating is nobody believes us. So now we have to go do this crazy. We got to go north to the wall, in our light speed boats because we can get everywhere super fast.
It's Davos. He's an amazing salesman.
And they've got to go.
Salesman. Sailor.
So basically, John and Ser Jorah are going to go north and capture a White Walker.
But the sad thing was, John, you bring a really good point. You know, Danny was really upset seeing John leave because they're falling in love.
No, they're not. They are.
We really want that story to really build.
Nope.
And see their
Nope.
love.
See,
flourish
she's
in
just
the
concerned that her relative might get hurt.
story. Matt, they're in love. You can't stop love.
They can't be
Okay.
because they're aunt and nephew, so that would be weird.
They're totally in love.
That's not going to happen. So yeah, so they're gonna go north. They're gonna capture a White Walker, get back to King's Landing. How are you gonna get into King's Landing to talk about this? Well, Sir Davos is the Han Solo of Game of Thrones. He's a smuggler, and he's a good one.
Castle Run in like 11 parsecs.
Right. So him and Tyrion go to King's Landing. They get there wicked fast with it's like a half-hour boat ride or whatever. Weirder than Jaime and Cersei have. You know what? Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, Jaime and Cersei, them having 4 kids is super weird, but they're the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not weird. It's gross, but it's an acceptable gross because you don't like them anyway. Although we do like Jaime because he's not really such a bad guy anymore. But Cersei,
Matt, you know the history of Targaryens, okay? They're gonna start banging.
well, they're
John and Danny are gonna have like 14 dragon babies, and they're gonna
Not
huge
the dragons
family.
start banging.
That's right. They're gonna have sex with the dragons there too.
dude. That's
Weird. They're really weird.
So anyway, King's Landing. Davos and Tyrion go to King's Landing
You'll be all right.
to
You got
meet, so that Tyrion can meet with Jaime, so that Jaime can tell Cersei, that the White Walkers are coming and that they've got a band together and they're going to bring us one. They're going to show us to prove it, and then we're all going to fight together.
Well, now Tyrion talks to Jaime through Braun.
Right.
Braun puts them together. Then Tyrion kind of tells him like, "No, I don't. We're not here to tell Cersei to bend the knee. Not yet, anyways. There's, we have other stuff we're gonna do. So you have to make sure you add that point in. They're not here to be. They're trying to be a little political, a little cool about the whole knee bending, who's bending what, doing what.
Well, right. They don't care about her bending the knee. Don't they care about her realizing there's a bigger threat
Right.
in the White Walkers? Isn't that why they were there?
Yeah, but I mean, also to tell them, hey, we're also going to make amends and say, hey, we're not really wanting her to bend the knee right now. We're not here to do that. That's kind of being like gentle up front to be like, hey, there's a bigger threat coming. We're going to bring some stuff to you guys if you'll accept it. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's true, Caroline. They can't have any kids. So.
Yeah, Danny can't
Don't
have
blame
kids.
dragons.
It doesn't matter because it's still weird. Meanwhile, one of the coolest things this episode is Sir Davos goes and finds Gendry.
Boom! He was
Boom.
there all the time. He's much stronger now. He rode for hours. and
Yeah.
days. And for at least 4 seasons.
His
he's
like
been doing it.
pecs and bicep. I mean, he's just
all
got.
good, man. And that's why he's a dual wielder of a mace now, blunt weapon.
Hey,
He's
Did his
two-hander.
bull helmet get taken by the Lannister army, or did he get
That's
to
a good
keep that?
question. I don't know. I don't know what happened to that helmet. I wonder if he still has it. That'd be interesting if while they're fighting the White Walkers.
I was
he puts
looking
back
for it
on.
hanging around the shop, but
I don't even remember
But yeah,
that.
he
What are you talking
was-
about?
he
The
made
helmet he made a long time ago that he took with him when he was going to the wall.
Oh, I don't remember that.
and then he
That's
hopped
okay.
in. Yeah, and then him and
You don't remember the season finale of last year. We're not going to expect you to remember first season stuff.
So yeah, so now correct me if I'm wrong, but Davos was there to get Gendry to help. Was he there because he knows Gendry's a great blacksmith and Gendry could help create the weapons out of the dragon glass? Is that why?
No, he got Gendry out of the town because he's the son of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like,
So,
while
yeah.
I'm here, I'm gonna get this cool guy that I know.
I mean, but also he is really good at what he does. You know, he's a good blacksmith. So he's got 2 for 1. He killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
It's true. And Lou says, I wonder if his hammer has obsidian in it. It looked
Maybe.
very obsidian-ly.
I think a part of getting Gendry out of
Good
there,
word, Matt.
unless he dies, is to kind of get everybody on the same side. We got to get him on the good side, whether he's making the blacksmith or fighting for the good or whatever. Because if all this comes out in the wash, you could possibly have the true heir to the throne king with the true heir to the throne queen, and they could rule the 7 kingdoms.
Ooh, maybe.
Well, the cool thing is, the Baratheons never came around until they fought by the side of the Targaryens in the first wars of over 300 years ago when the Targaryens took over Westeros. The family of the Baratheons became what they were because it was like, was it, Carolyn, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was like a half-brother or something of the Targaryens that went over there. He came with, fought with them, ended up taking the name Baratheon and starting that house. So the Baratheons and the Targaryens were super close for many, many years. The Baratheons started when the Targaryens came over to Westeros. That's when they got their name. So if Jon is a Targaryen, you have a Baratheon fighting by his side now. Hello, that's pretty cool. Even though the Baratheons and the Starks overthrew the Targaryens later on.
It's true.
But still.
But
cool
that's
seeing
all in the
Gendry.
past. We're all friends now.
Yeah, we're all good friends.
We're all
Totally
friends.
fine.
So they get Gendry. Tyrion tells Jaime. Jaime tells Cersei. Cersei doesn't really care. Actually, wait. Cersei doesn't she say that it may
First of all,
be
she knew about the meeting beforehand.
Yeah.
She says that. She's like, I know everything that goes on in this town. I don't know how she does that. It's got to be what's his face, hand of the king, dude, hand of the queen. Maester guy. What's his name? Guys, help us out. He's the Maester.
Yeah,
Qyburn.
Qyburn.
Samsonite. Qyburn. Yeah, that's correct. Qyburn. That's great. Anyways, Auburn. It's Auburn. Not Pycelle. No. So yeah, he's in there telling her that. So that's where she's getting a lot of information from. So yeah, she kind of knows everything that's going on. But yeah, she was a little upset with.
And she said, "Are you not going to punish Bronn?" He's like,
Right.
"Why would? Yeah, I don't want to punish. He's my buddy."
What's this, another baby to quote Ace.
So they get
But they do find out they're gonna have a kid together.
that's why I even brought that up because
Yes.
so Cersei said, because I even wrote down Cersei pregnant. What?
So this series is making. I thought Jaime for the longest time was going to kill Cersei, and I guess that's part of the prophecy, and like all her babies to be dead. But my thing is, man, they're not making it where Jaime does not dislike her at all. He still acts like he loves her more than anything in the entire world. So I don't know when this supposed he's going to turn and just stab her
Next season.
No.
What?
Next
No,
season.
no, there's no way unless they have to start building a divide between the two. There has been
They
no
no, they
divide built at all.
they have
He just brought him
planted.
closer.
No, they well okay. So here's the theory. Let's talk theories for a second.
No.
So they started the very beginning of the season. They started like planting a small seed. You could tell the way Cersei would talk to Euron.
Doing it? They
And-
did it the first
They
episode
have
of the season.
banged this season.
Yeah, that's a small
She
seed.
tells them that they're having a kid.
It's a
He's all
small
excited.
seed.
kisses
Okay,
her.
hold on. Let me finish. So
me
Cersei. Okay, so you could tell that Jaime doesn't really agree with everything Cersei's doing. There's been several times this season where he's kind of looked at her like, "What are you talking about? Why are you going along with the stuff that Euron's doing? All this kind of stuff." Plus, my theory is that Cersei is not pregnant. Because how does Jaime know?
He doesn't.
Right. So I think she's telling him that just to keep him on a leash. Because
think
I
so.
think she feels him slipping away.
They just did it like 2 episodes ago. He looks at her every time like, oh man, I don't know what she's doing, but you know what? I love that lady of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go have sex with her right now in her room, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna love each other and be with each other. Oh, I'm having a baby with her. I'm so excited. I kiss her. I hold her. I take her in my arms.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how many times he looks at her if they don't start making it divide, as in that he doesn't want to be around her now.
Okay, all right. Or Cersei is pregnant and it's Euron's, and Jamie finds out, and that's the last straw.
Actually, then that would be okay because Euron needs to take her in a hand of marriage, anyways, for political reasons.
It's not possible. Euron only does it in the bum.
It's true. It's in the books.
I don't know how you know that, but
Because he mentioned it to Jamie when he came in the throne room.
No, he asks her. He asked Jamie because he's dissing Jamie at the time. He was like, "So she's not getting in the bone?"
Yeah.
Or you would know since you've been hitting it. And Jamie's like, "Oh no, you did."
I still think I think that I think she's not pregnant and she just told that to Jamie to keep him on a leash, or she is, but it's not Jamie's. Jamie is going to kill Cersei, and they have started planting the seeds for that divide, but they're not there yet. They're not there yet.
She blew up half the city and bad people in one shot, and he gave her a look, and then he's banging her in 2 episodes later. If you're that upset with somebody and you're falling out of love with them, no. I'm sorry. You're Jamie.
We all know we're guys, and we know that you can be upset with somebody and still.
No, not the way he is having sex with his sister. Staying the night, cuddling with
That's
her,
like
holding
hate
her
sex.
after her. No, there's no hate. He's not making her just like, get out of my room. I think they need to do a little bit more to make that make more sense.
Well, the good thing is this is online. This gets archived. So when that happens, I'm gonna go back to this and we're gonna play this clip in that show, and I'm gonna laugh in your faces.
Well, it'll be about time you got something right. Oh, boom!
No, I didn't say.
I'm just kidding. No. I'm fine with them killing each other. Things you don't want to know about your brother.
I was talking about me.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah. So mark my words, Cersei. It's not whatever. Okay. Jamie is not going to have another son via Cersei.
Like I told you, I said I still think that'll do it. They're just doing a terrible job of the show to show this great divide that's not really happening. Jamie's like picking out curtains because they're going to be living together now and super happy about everything they're doing. You just think because a look was shown one time that
it's been all season.
He's going to put a knife to her neck and slice
it's
her
been
down.
all season.
Hey,
You can't say that in this very episode. He grabs her and makes out with her because he's so happy he's having a child with her. If he's that mad at her because he gave a look.
No, okay, so listen, but he's been kind of iffy with her all season. She knows this. She tells him that she's pregnant to reel him back in. When he finds out she's not, that's going to be the last straw.
No. He is mad at her, but he loves her too much. That's why he keeps coming back to her. That's why he can't kill her.
That's my greatest weakness. I love too much.
Hard. Until they break that tie, that's not being shown very well in the show. I agree with you that it'll end up being Jamie Killer, but they got to do a way better job of showing how Jamie hates her because they're doing a terrible job of it right now.
Anyway, so that's what happened in that scene. They get Gendry back to Dragonstone, but not before Gendry takes his big two-handed hammer and smashes 2 guards, which I love seeing that. Because Gendry says, I'm not much of a fighter. I don't know how to use a sword, but I can use a friggin' hammer. So we've got our dual wield in our guild here. There's our two-handed hammer.
Yeah, Obi straight called it out right there, man, because I thought it was a hammer for work.
He spec'd two-handed.
200 base dwarf ready to go to town.
I like his spec. It's pretty cool.
He's a DPS. You can tell he's DPS. He's not a tank. He's a DPS.
He's like a Fury Warrior. Is what he is.
There you go.
He's a Fury Warrior. All right, so all that happened. Meanwhile, you've got Sam. Going back to Sam, he's really frustrated. Okay, Okay, so all right, so Sam, we go back to Sam and Gilly at Old Town.
Oh, this
Sam
the best
is
part.
transcribing because that's what he's been told to
He
do.
does, yeah. He's
Gilly-
bringing work home, working on his laptop.
Yeah, Gilly starts to read and asks him what an annulment is, and almost spills the beans about Rhaegar, not Rhaegar.
You gotta love their family mentality. You know, Sam's at home, he's doing some work on the laptop. She's talking about the show that's a verse like, did you know there's 5,000 steps to the set? That's weird. Like, yes, dear, I got it. I gotta transcribe this. I'm busy right now, okay? She's like, also, they tracked all his poos. That's weird. Is that yes,
Sorry.
dear, yes, I got that. Yes, I got it.
Sorry, and so sorry, Caroline, for the bot timed you out, but she has a good point. In all caps, OMFG, Gilly finally learns to read and ...
Also, what's an annulment? I don't even know what an annulment is. Could you tell me about an annulment? Sweetie, I'm trying to work.
Finally learns how to read, and that almost comes to very good use. And
Oh my goodness, it almost does.
I think so. Do you think that she, at some point, that will come up again, where she's like, "Oh, by the way, you know, I read about Rhaegar." And
He may mention it. I mean, it all comes down to all right. So that also brings us back to a note that Arya is running well with that I want to talk about when we get to that because I thought like that has something to pertain to this, and it may not. It may have something else because after we saw the ending, there was something else that came up. But still, she's reading that. She gets into Rhaegar having an annulment, then a secret wedding, and everybody's like, "This is where Sam learns." Sam's like, seriously, I don't even want to know about the 5,000 poos the guy had. I don't care. I'm
Steps.
tired of
that's the nerve. Steps, not shits.
I'm going to the library.
Yeah.
I'm going to the library to get my work done. And he storms out.
Don't wait up.
So, and he does. He goes to the library. And
grabs a
he
bunch of stuff.
grabs just what seems to be like random books and scrolls. I guess he's just hoping he's going to get lucky with, hopefully this
I'm
is
sure this is Night Walker stuff.
This feels like history of Westeros and not a recipe.
Right, I'm going to take this book.
So, and then him and Gilly peace out. They leave. They leave Old Town.
Yeah, they're out of Old Town, man. They're going back to the wall. They'll probably make it to. I'm guessing they're going to make it to Winterfell, and that's where they'll run into the sisters.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are they going to Winterfell or the Wall?
They're going to the wall.
But Winterfell's on the way.
That's a good question because Sam left when John was still the Night's Watch commander,
right?
The Lord of the Night's Watch.
Does he even know that John's not there anymore?
Don't know. I don't know. It depends on what ravens came from what place and how much.
Yeah,
Sam
I can't keep up with
knows.
all the. I mean, with all the emailing that goes on.
So yeah, they do know that there are multiple queens in the kingdom and multiple kings and all this stuff, but I don't know how much information Sam's actually gotten. But did they take the important book? I don't know, Sweet Caroline.
Which one's the important book? I mean, aren't they all important books?
Well, the Rhaegar and having the annulment.
Well, maybe Gilly so Gilly had that book. Maybe she took that one. Maybe
I think so, and she'll keep reading. But I think it was like right there, and it's just everybody's waiting, and then Sam just has this blow up. Ah! I'm going back to work.
The saving grace is that that's not the only way that anybody will find out. Because Bran knows. But Bran hasn't told anybody yet, right?
Right, he's waiting. It has to come in the way of a bad story to somebody to hurt their feelings before he can say. So he's waiting until, like, I don't know, Rhaegar's ex-wife.
Does Littlefinger know?
Like, oh yeah, remember when you were married to Rhaegar? Yeah, he divorced you.
Does Littlefinger know? Do we think?
Maybe. So my thing was, all right. So you leave that point, you go back to Winterfell, and Arya's kind of being sneaky pants, chasing Littlefinger around the house. After having a little conversation with her sister, which they still seem apart, which they're making Arya kind of a jerk. No. I don't know. I feel like they're making Arya out to be like. She doesn't. I get it. She doesn't get along with her sister, but they're making her out to be kind of.
According to Matt's logic, Arya and Littlefinger like each other.
What?
Okay, if you can.
No.
What?
I'm just saying the signals he picks up on this show.
I don't know. I'm not. You guys are picking up signals between aunt and nephew that aren't clearly aren't there.
Anyway, go ahead.
I don't pick up. I'm the one who doesn't pick up signals.
I know. We are trying our best to show you how the story's going.
I'm trying to tell you what's going on.
Littlefinger and Arya are in love. And so Arya's playing chase the Littlefinger around the house because Littlefinger's being sneaky and he talks to some girl in the barn he gets a note from one of the Maesters. Now, what I thought that note from the Maesters was because they just came off the Sam and Gilly thing, that they were going to be, it was going to be a note because he's like, did you check the archives? Yes, it's the only note about this ever, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let me see it. He looks at it. He's like, okay, hides it. I thought it may have been like a note from a Raven saying that the annulment about Rhaegar and marrying Ned's sister marrying Rhaegar and having a child, blah, blah, blah. I thought that's what that note she found
Yeah,
was.
but who would that have come from?
That, well, he checked the archives of the house, meaning that the note probably was there for a long period of time and it's been sitting in a bunch of books and everything upstairs. So he went to look and see if it actually existed, because he does tell a story about that in one of the earlier episodes to Sansa about, hey, I knew your sister, your Ned's sister, blah, blah, blah. She was a beautiful person. She was in this melee, all that stuff. He starts telling that story. So he may have some inkling of that being true. Therefore, he sent the Maester to go dig through all the archives to find this little letter so that she would have it, or he would have it, so he could prove that fact. So Arya gets the letter, but we find out the letter is something completely different, in my opinion. It says something about the kings and overthrowing the throne, and you don't get a really quick, long time to see it at all. And it's gone, and Arya puts it away. So then at the end of the episode, you hear about how Littlefinger is trying to play Sansa versus Arya to keep that separation between the two, so they don't like each other. So Sansa would still keep in counsel Littlefinger, so Littlefinger could still connive his way in between his sisters. So I don't know if that letter was actually something about that Rhaegar, R plus L equals J, or if it was a planted letter that Rhaegar, or that Littlefinger's planting, because he did know Arya was following him.
Death
So
is the enemy.
that all said, I have no idea what the note is about now.
Yeah, I mean, was it even real? I mean,
Oh, okay. Is it? Are you sure, Caroline? I don't even know it was that. I from what I caught, from what I saw from it. Well, the good thing is we have playback and we can pause.
well, that's what, I don't know if you guys heard a little bit of music, but that's what I was trying to get to.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, shoot,
I
wait.
don't remember what the note was from and why and who and how and when. We're gonna look that information up because
Oh, wait,
we have the internet.
yeah, I clicked
According
on
to
the
the
wrong thing
internet, it's the Sansa note. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So wait, it's the note Sansa wrote under duress to save Ned. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everybody on the internet's already done this, like paused it and read it. But what was the note? What was that note about? I don't remember Sansa writing a note. Why can I not?
What are you doing? HBO?
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
help you.
why is this not? I keep clicking the wrong video.
Hold on.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, that's on the. I'm on the extra. Oh wait, here. I'm already right here.
I got your back, bro.
She tells Rob to stand down and Ned will be spared. But why would that? Okay, this is. There's Gilly. Sam and Gilly. Okay, hold on. Hold on. We will all look at it together here.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
All right, bring it up. Bring it
Yep.
up.
Hold on.
Everybody, hold on. Let's see if we can see it really well.
Okay, I don't know. Let's go. Oh, hold on. Let me go to. And let me take. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's full screen. Is love is dead, killed from wounds he took in a something.
Oh, that's the note.
Joffrey and I tried to steal his throne.
Oh.
It's swear fealty to bring Joffrey. Your sister
And
says-
yeah, swearity to King Joffrey. So okay, so it's from Sansa. You are a faithful sister.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's a note to Arya?
Yeah, no, Arya wrote that note. Correct?
No, Sansa wrote it because it says your
No,
faithful sister.
Yeah, Sansa wrote the note to send to Winterfell, I'm pretty sure. Saying that you guys need to be, or sent it to Robert to bend the knee about their father and about Sansa. This is before Ned loses his head. I think.
No, because it's already, this note is already talking about King Joffrey.
It says King is dead. Yeah, Joffrey was king while Ned was still alive.
Oh,
Joffrey
Sansa wrote it.
couldn't-
Sansa wrote it to Rob.
Right. So the king is dead, killed by his wounds. He took, I'm guessing it's the hut with the boar, blah, blah, blah. Then it says,
Yeah, while in a
Joffrey tried to
boar
steal
hunt.
his throne. The Lannisters, okay, blah, blah. It's swear fealty to King Joffrey. Oh, I'm guessing that it's saying that his dad tried to steal Joffrey's throne from him, blah, blah, blah. You have to swear fealty to him, and they'll bring Joffrey to the kingdom.
Oh, so yeah. So Sansa wrote this to Robb saying, here's how it is now, bend the knee to Joffrey.
Yes.
And saying, so what's Arya's reaction going to be to this?
Right. Well, see, now that's how he's throwing Arya against Sansa. Like, why did you write this note about Dad? Why did you do this? Why are you a traitor to your own family? What are you doing? You know, and kind of keep the separation between the two. That's what that note is about. So that's why he's playing that note on him.
Whoa. Okay.
So that makes more sense. Yep.
Whoa.
Words.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, and it's interesting that Arya is. Robb knew it was under duress. Come on, Arya. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and that's what they said at the end of the episode. In the inside the episode bit after the words was that Littlefinger sees the bonds of sisterhood tightening, and he doesn't want to get left out of that. So he wants to basically drive a wedge in between them. So Arya's going to get pissed at Sansa.
Yeah.
Arya's probably going to go off the deep, not necessarily go off the deep end, but she's going to be angry.
Arya may see through it too. Arya may be smarter than we think and see straight through it and be like, no, Littlefinger's trying to play us against each other right now.
Arya and Sansa are going to get a fight.
They're going to throw her down.
Sansa's going to go to Littlefinger. Okay, interesting.
I don't think she'll go. Sansa's tired of Littlefinger. She's the only one that lets Littlefinger hang around just because
he has the veil.
Right, because the veil came and saved them. That's it. But she seems like she's completely done with him too. He's going to try to sneak his way back in, but I think that's going to fail. And everybody keeps saying that Arya is going to kill Littlefinger. Wouldn't it be nicer if Sansa stabs Littlefinger for getting in their business? It actually takes his life. What if, because she's left in charge and Jon's gone, Littlefinger's doing all this, Arya brings it to Sansa. Sansa calls Littlefinger out and has him killed because he's trying to play the sisters apart from each other.
That would be cool. Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking that too. Instead of Arya doing it, what if Sansa? I think Sansa will be the one to kill him because he's been
all up in her grill.
Yeah,
man.
For a long time. He's been all over her in different ways. You know, he romantically he was trying to get with her, but also he's just trying to get with her from a political perspective.
This will be the last straw. Arya will come to Sansa all upset. They'll talk about it. They'll fall back on being sisters and get over it, and Sansa will explain her position, blah, blah, blah. This is all about misunderstanding of everybody saying something. It seems the show is all about that. Nobody has the full story of anything. And Arya or Sansa will know because Littlefinger's the one that hid the letter and be like, this mother playing us against each other again, and she's tired of Littlefinger's games. And she's just going to have him killed or kill him himself. You know, she may do it herself. Or bring up some natural fan that traps him in something and he gets killed.
It would be cool if they work together to trick Littlefinger, to trick the trickster basically, and said, let's pretend like we hate each other. He'll fall into our trap. And then it'd be cool if they were together and Arya says, Sansa, you do it. Sansa kills him. And Arya says, okay, now watch this, and peels his face off. And becomes Littlefinger. That's got to happen, right? Arya's got to become Littlefinger so that they can keep the veil.
Well, I mean, if Sansa has him killed for conspiracy against the crown of the North, she can do that because Littlefinger's trying to play against the leader right now of the North, which is Sansa, who Jon put in charge. Again, by the way, the North, seriously, guys, if a king goes on a long vacation or takes a long weekend, dear Lord, you guys feel changes in about 5 seconds. I mean, is there really nothing to talk about up the North? It'd be like, Jon's been gone for 3 hours. I say we pledge allegiance to Sansa now. There seems to be a horse in the stables that's been here longer. I trust him.
If America right now were the North during Trump's 17-day vacation, we would have swapped presidents 5 times. Whoa! In this 17 days. Yeah, you're right. He should stay here. He's been gone a week. Chill out.
Well, longer than a week. I mean, he's had time to sail. They've sailed across the ocean around to Casterly Rock. They've sailed to King's Landing and back. They've had ships out in all new seas and everything. I mean, I don't know how time goes in Westeros, but they're really good about jumping ahead by years here. You know, yet these guys are able to keep their great looks at young age.
That's true. Like, they sailed from Dragonstone to King's Landing and back, and then sailed from Dragonstone to Eastwatch, which is further north than Winterfell.
But not even that. You have the Unsullied that sailed around the country to get to Casterly Rock on the other side. And that happened this season. So I don't understand.
That's true. I mean, didn't it take months for like Christopher Columbus to get over here from?
I think so, yes.
I mean,
I don't know how big the sea is for these people, but it's crazy how fast these guys can sail.
there was a running joke in Arrow a couple seasons ago where they went to this mystical place called Nanda Parbat, and they always talked about it being in this remote place on the other side of the world. But they got there in like an hour from Star City where Arrow lives, and everybody was always, making fun. Oh, apparently it's just in the next county over. Well, friggin' Game of Thrones, they can snap their fingers and be across the world.
Westeros is actually just the size of like Putnam County.
Right.
It's not that big. It's super small.
They use the Stargate. Could be.
Yeah, I like the Stargate idea. That's good.
All right. So yeah. So what I do real quick, I do think it's interesting. I do think this game of espionage between Arya and Littlefinger is interesting because Arya is sneaky as she is now. She's a stealthy assassin. She has a man has no name of all that.
They could be playing each other. She could know that Littlefinger knows that she's watching.
Yeah, so it's like
doing it purposely to be seen.
She's following Littlefinger. Littlefinger knows that she's following him, but she knows that he knows that she's following him.
But he knows that she knows.
But he knows that she knows that he knows. Yeah,
because you just know.
So the last thing we're left with, this is going to lead us into an awesome next episode, is Jon, Davos, Gendry, Ser Jorah, and I think a handful of like red shirts basically sail up to Eastwatch.
Word.
Where Tormund is. Good old Tormund. We haven't had enough of him this season.
No, he's awesome. I love him. He's like, so which queen is this one? The one with the dragons, the one that sleeps with her brother?
Yeah. I guess we haven't seen Tormund so much because he was too busy filming The Fate of the Furious.
That's true. Still looking for the big woman. He still loves his big woman.
How about the big woman? That's awesome. And so they're telling Tormund about their plan, and he thinks it's crazy, but he'll go along with it. And he said, "Well,
he's scared for Jon. He's like,
yeah,
you want to do that again? You saw what happened last time. I mean, him and Tormund are the only two out of that group that have seen anything that passed the wall.
Right.
So Tormund knows what's out there." And they're like, I gotta go. We gotta do this. And he's like, well, I got some buddies down here, or some people that are interested in going out there as well. And then we have a huge reunion of everybody.
I love this. This was almost a comedy. This last scene, like where they find out that the Brotherhood without banners, they've caught them and thrown them in a cell.
And then Gendry starts yelling at him, and then that brings up Tormund's like, "Whoa, you're the son of so and so."
Well, Jon, so Jon was like, "Wait, you're the Hound. I know you." And then another, which I don't remember the guy's name, but he leans out. Wait a minute. You're Jorah Mormont. And then Tormund says, You're a Mormont? You killed my whatever. Well, you hunted me. It's like, and then Gendry's like, oh, I know that guy. He tried to sell me. So it's like, everybody knows. But I like that, who was it that said, we're all here, basically implying we all have this weird connection in some way, but we're all here to accomplish the same thing. And I kind of like the idea that...
It was the night.
It's all one-eyed Willie.
Yeah, I forget his name. Does everybody know the knight's name that has the one eye? One-eyed Willie Knight. He's been killed like 14 times, brought back by the... He's got to have some important play because he and Jon are the only two that have been brought back to life. So there's some reason why he's been brought back to life 1,000 times by the Lord of
Right, and the Hound even asked him, and he said, I don't know.
Yeah, that was like, I see greater men die than better you.
Dondarrion?
Thank you, Dondarrion, yes. Anyways, yes, he has been killed. He's been killed by the Hound.
Beric Dondarrion.
He's been killed by the Mountain.
Yeah.
And he's been killed multiple times, and he's still kicking. So there is some importance to him, which we see him light the sword on fire again. Whether that's Lightbringer or not, nobody knows. he's about to go out, but the cool thing is he says on that, John just says, "Yeah, you're right. We're all on the same side. We're breathing.
Yeah.
We're actually alive."
But I do
So,
like the idea that, I mean, it could be a little comical that, oh wait, I know you, oh you're that guy, I know you, oh that's weird, oh, I know this guy over here. But I kind of like, maybe there's like a thing that it's almost like fate, like we are all here for a reason to take out this big thing. I mean, I don't know if it's that or not, but I kind of like that idea of, well, maybe they're all fated to be here. You know,
Well,
they're all
I mean,
fated to be in this one spot to go do a thing. You know,
at least a couple of them for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all come from a bunch of different stuff, and yes, they're all there. They're all there for different reasons, but they know what they have to do. What the main reason is for being 6 degrees.
6 Degree Johnson.
But they all know what they have to do now. They have all their differences, but they've all seen different things. The mountain, heck, the Hound has even seen the wall fall in over there at the East Watch. He's seen all the stuff.
He had the vision, yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, they're all there because they may have all their differences, but they know what they have to go fight. They're the Brothers Without Banners, the only other ones in Westeros that believe that there's a huge danger coming from the north, pretty much. So they do have a good team there. And then they all walked outside, just straight out Reservoir Dog style.
Ooh, into the snow.
Ready to go tear it up. That was an awesome scene. That got me so pumped for the next episode because you've got some of the best. Jorah Mormont is a great knight. Darian is a great knight. Jon Snow, we know, can hold his own. He's freaking great. You got the Hound out there who can cut down any man. He's beaten Darian. You got Gendry. We saw what he could do with a hammer, and Tormund was one of the leaders of the Wildlings. So you've got some great fighters all lined up to go up against the Night's King. And too bad Dickon wasn't there. We're gonna miss Dickon. We've already missing Dickon. He was only for 2 episodes. He was a wonderful character.
Hold on, I've got to. I need to watch this trailer again.
The one for next week?
Yeah, the one for next week.
It's gonna be like they're like the Avengers of Westeros.
Well, it kind of. I mean, it's bringing them all together. And
they're not all the most important characters, but this is a big moment. A lot of major characters going out together to fight this. This may be where Dondarrion falls, and maybe Jon takes up his blade.
And we still need to fight him.
And Dondarrion's whole purpose of living to this point was to meet Jon Snow to give him this blade.
You're scared, aren't you?
Okay, but the whole thing is not north of the wall.
No, but a big segment's got to be.
Yeah. Oh, there's Gendry going crazy with a hammer. That's awesome.
Everybody on social media is talking about why nothing was said about Gilly's comment.
And then
on the show?
Yeah, on the show.
Oh, okay.
When Gilly said that to Sam and he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
You're like, why is nobody talking about that? It's a bombshell. Oh my God.
Yeah, next episode is going to be awesome sauce. Or who knows? Maybe that's just a preview for the following episode after. They're messing with our heads. Needless to say, next episode is going to be really good.
Next episode, so typical Game of Thrones fashion.
Yeah.
The stuff hits the fan. Usually the penultimate episode of the season, and that is next week. So, oh man. So yeah, that was a lot. There was a lot packed into that episode.
Yep.
There was a lot packed into that. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of setup for, I guess, the last two, because there wasn't actually a lot of big things that happened, but there was a lot of setup. A lot of pieces being moved on the board.
There you go.
And I can't, man. I freaking can't wait for this one, man. This is gonna be a long week.
This next Sunday's gonna be good. Yeah, I know it'll be a long way, but we can make it. We can do it as a team, everybody. We'll just all do Game of Thrones stuff all week, so we are still in that
yeah, if North Korea starts flying nukes, George R. R. Martin better start tweeting the end.
Don't worry, George R. R. Martin's never going to finish his books. Don't worry. We already know that. We'll get the ending next season.
Yeah, you should. Keon found a picture. Somebody put that up. George R. R. Martin better tell us who's on that damn throne or something like that.
George R. R. Martin. You can forget about those books ever coming out. Whatever. Anyways, guys, I think that's good.
That's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry we were all over the place, but like I said, this one was more. There was just so much in this one that there was in the other ones. There was just a bunch to cover, and it was hard to keep it all squared away. But yeah, we will be back probably roughly around this time next week. Definitely next week to talk about that crazy episode because that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, let's get some punches in the chat for everybody here for this awesome episode. As usual, we stream 8 to midnight Monday through Thursday. I do Mondays, Wednesdays. Dan does Tuesdays and Thursdays. Friday night, I think we're going to start doing our Friday night mixer where we co-stream on Mixer like we did this past Friday. That was really cool. That was fun to do. Maybe do some more PUBG or Fortnite or some kind of multiplayer thing on Friday. And then I'm pretty sure I'll be streaming Saturday morning at 9 a.m. But yeah, tomorrow night we'll be revisiting Wolfenstein. Dan, any idea what you're gonna play this week?
Oh man,
you can do No Man's Sky.
No. I may, but I might do a surprise. So we'll see.
Can you tell me when we're done?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be doing
surprise
Wolfenstein. Tuesday, Agents of Mayhem and a game called Matterfall on the PS4, both coming out Tuesday, and I was wanting to do one or both of them, but I think I'm just gonna go straight Wolfenstein. We're gonna finish the New Order, and then I'm gonna play the prequel, The Old Blood. Which should get us, that's a shorter game, and that should take us right into next Tuesday. I'm going to be streaming Uncharted Lost Legacy all day long on my birthday, so that's going to be fun.
On his birthday.
On my birthday. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming up in the weeks to come. We got Dragon Con in a couple weeks from now, so we won't be streaming for a few days, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. We're going to bed, so until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
We'll see you on the other side of the wall.